How's it going, guys? Joe here from Harker Outdoors. I have been in the outdoor industry for over 20 years and learned a lot of tips and tricks on how to stay warm in the winter. I'm going to share them with you in this video. All right, number 5. The electric blanket. This is just a throw. It's not huge. All you need is a little bit of heat in between you and the blanket. Cool thing about this one, it's 12 volt. So that's gonna be important. The 12 volt draws very little amps. You don't need a ton. If you use a home blanket, you're gonna need an inverter to pump that. It's gonna use a lot of electricity, drain your batteries, where this is just gonna be enough to create some good warmth without going overboard and draining that stuff. So this is one of my favorites. It's small, it's light. It's a good add-on to if you have the electrical system on the EDC, or if you're car camping, plug it into your car. So if you have that ability, this is an awesome little add-on. All right, let's move on to number 4, and that is the mattress. It's a huge, huge, huge factor to keeping you warm. Why is that? A lot of people don't realize that your mattress is also an insulating factor as well. If you're running an air mattress with no foam in it, all you have is that thin material that's keeping your warmth in. So while you're laying on the air mattress, all your heat is just being drained. It doesn't matter how many blankets you have on top of you, that heat from your body is just gonna sneak out under that thin material into that open air, and you're gonna be cold all night. So here at Harker Outdoors, we have our own mattress here, and it is a foam / air filled mattress. The air adds a little more cushion if you need more cushion or support, but it has the foam in there to help insulate your body and keep you warm. So this is super important to make sure you have foam in your mattress when you're camping out in the cold. It also pairs nicely with the heated blanket if you want to throw that under the sheet. Toast this up before you even get into bed. Kind of a nice thing to have. But number 4, make sure you have the right mattress to keep you warm. All right, next up, number 3 is a wool blanket. Why is wool a good thing to have while you're camping and keeping you warm? There's a lot of cool factors about wool. One that I like is, say you had emergency use and you had to use it, this will retain close to 70% of your heat while being soaked in water. Not that you're gonna be soaked here. If there's an emergency, you can use this. So having a wool blanket on you all the time is really nice. Another factor about wool is it's fire retardant. So if you want a blanket, you can go sit around the fire and then come back camping and not worry about getting holes in or burning up on you. Wool's a great choice. Another thing about wool is a lot of people think it's too itchy, which it can be too itchy. So there's other types of wool you can get to keep you warm without the itch. This blanket here is made out of alpaca. It's a softer wool, so you're not getting that itch. And you can also get a merino wool, which is even softer. So if you're wanting to go the wool direction to add to your sleep system, look for an alpaca wool blanket or a merino wool blanket, and they'll keep you warm. On that water issue, you're in a small tent, condensation happens. If you're not running a heater that dries the air as you're camping, you will get moisture off your tent. It just happens, that's just life. And so having a material that doesn't soak up water is nice to have on the sides, so you're not turning over and having a drenched blanket. So that's where wool comes in, keeping you warm throughout the night, and something you can take around and snuggle around the fire. So this is why I've got this at number 3. On our number 2 item of the list is this down blanket. This is my favorite. I use this blanket year round, keeps me warm and toasty. In the winter, I just add a little extra to it. But down is not all created equal, so I'm gonna go through those steps to help you get the right down blanket. There is a rating on the down fill from 500 up to near 900. So the higher the number, the better quality fill you're gonna have. It's gonna have a better loft to it, so the poofiness is going to be there with a higher rating versus a lower rating. Another thing to look into when you're buying a down item is how many ounces of fill in it. So you've got the rating, and that's gonna be the quality, and then you've got the ounces, and that's how much fill is in it. Because you could have a 8 or 850 fill blanket, and if there's not very much fill in it, it's not gonna keep you warm. So look for those items, how much is in it and what quality it is. Next on the down is you could use a home down blanket, but here are the cons to that versus what I'm holding in my hands here. If you get a down comforter for your home, it's made out of cotton, and so it's going to absorb any condensation inside your tent, so it's going to get damp. It also doesn't have a treatment on the down feathers, so the feathers can get damp. So what ends up happening is if you have a damp blanket on down, there is no thermal value to a wet down blanket. And so the one I'm holding here actually has nylon on both sides, very similar to a high-end sleeping bag that has a water-resistant coating on the material, and also has a water-resistant coating on your feathers. So if you're in a tent, in a camper, and you're sleeping and you don't have a heater to circulate the air and dry it out, you're going to get condensation in the cold weather, and it's going to run down your tent and onto your blanket. So having a nice quality down blanket with that water resistant is a huge deal when you're camping in the cold. So make sure water resistant, quality of fill, and how much fill is in your blanket. Another cool thing about the down is it's a space saver. So it's super puffy, but you can squish this down into a pillowcase sized bag, which gives you more room to bring more stuff along your way on your trips. So this is a cool item. They can be spendy to get the right stuff, but well worth it. So if you want to stay warm, this blanket's awesome, and go find yourself one. All right, guys, my number one item for staying warm while camping in the Harker is a fuel heater, like this Propex here. We love the Propex. There's a bunch of different options. You can go with a heater buddy. We usually don't go that direction because when you burn it inside, the exhaust is inside your camper and it creates condensation. So that condensation is going to build water around the tent and everything else. That's why we use the Propex. The Propex has an exhaust that exhausts on the outside of the camper, and it's going to circulate the air and dry the air on the inside, so you're not going to get that condensation build up, and it puts out a lot more air. There's also an option for diesel. We don't put that in our campers because we like this one, but we'll drop a link to why we've gone with the Propex versus the diesel heater, and so you guys can get some information on that. So there you go, guys. All my picks in one. You combine them together, you're going to be warm all the time, anywhere you go. Hope you've learned something in this video to keep you warm. If you like this, follow our YouTube channel, and we'll have more videos on camping and enjoying the outdoors.